Hey guys, today's video is going to be Wyatt's 6-month update. Yesterday was his half birthday. He is now 6 months old and very excited to be here, I guess. Hi baby. If you're new here, hi, my name is Emily and this is Wyatt, my youngest of 2 boys. If you enjoy mommy related content, I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel, and without further ado, let's get into it. Wyatt now weighs over 18 pounds. He was too big for the scale that they had at our doctor's office, which I think is a little ridiculous. So we couldn't get an accurate weight on him. I just kind of weighed myself and then held him and weighed us both together, and he weighs a little over 18 pounds now. He was 16 pounds 3 ounces at his 4-month update, so he's right along his growth curve. I believe he's in about the 50th percentile, which I think is pretty crazy considering he's in like 12-month clothes and he's only 6 months old, but that's what my doctor's office told me. Hi. So he is still wearing 12-month clothing and is in size 3 diapers. That's pretty much the same as in our last month's update. Our napping schedule for the school year has definitely improved. After we drop Max off at school, we come home around 9 o'clock and he goes down for a nap for about an hour. And then after lunch, he will go down usually until we have to leave to get Max from school, so around 2:30. That is definitely his longest nap. And then some days he will nap before like supper time and other days he won't. I just put him down if he's tired. I don't force him down for a nap or anything. And then on the days where he does not have an early evening nap, he usually goes to bed around 7:30. If he goes to bed a little later than that, again, I don't really push sleeping routines on him, at least not right now. As long as, like, I'm not going to put him down for a nap if he's only going to be able to sleep for half an hour. Even if he is really tired, I will like make sure to distract him and keep him awake if we have somewhere to go, like get Max from school, for example. So even if he's like really tired, really trying to fall asleep and go down for a nap at 2 o'clock, I know at 2:30 I'm going to have to be loading him into the car. So I will just try and hold him off until we get home from the school run and put him down for a nap then. It seems to be working pretty good for us right now. Of course, he is very tired and cranky when stuff like that happens, but I'd rather him get a good sleep rather than a bunch of short, broken naps. He's been sleeping all through the night, as he has been for quite some time now. He sleeps for about 10 hours through the night, which is perfect. That means I'm getting my 8 hours of sleep for the most part, and I still have time to, clean up at night, things like that. So right now our nighttime routine is working perfectly for our family. I'm really hoping that that lasts. He gets bored in his toys and playthings a lot quicker now, so my day is spent, juggling him from like the play mat to the exerciser to the bouncer and back again, and we're constantly, try and keep him entertained. He does like TV now, which I try and limit him quite a bit. Once Max comes home, that kind of goes out the door though, because Max is older and likes to watch TV when he gets home from school, which I do allow. And Wyatt does seem to watch it along with him. I think he's just fascinated with the moving bright images on the TV, of course. But he does like watching TV now, but for the most part, it's rarely on when it's just me and him at home. Since the last update, he has hit a lot of milestones, so he now grabs his toes and rolls around holding them, like the typical, I think that's baby pose in yoga even. Like, he grabs hold of them, rolls around. His belly is too big for him to be able to get them to his mouth, which is really funny because he definitely struggles with that on a daily basis. So for the most part, I try and keep his feet bare, because even if he has socks on, he just pulls them off. Like, he's going for his toes right now. Can you show them? Whee! Whee! you follow me on Snapchat, you would have seen that he now says mamas. I feel like it's just baby babble at this point. Like he doesn't look for me and say mama, but I'm gonna say it was his first word. I'm mama, huh? Jeremy just tells me no, he's not actually saying mom, but I choose to believe that that's what he's saying, right? And the other big thing that has happened is he now has 2 teeth on the bottom. They both came up like one right after the other. Like there was one tooth one day and then the second day the other tooth was in. We had quite a rough weekend that weekend. Before they actually broke through, his gums were super swollen and red. And Max wasn't like that. He was finding it very sore, so we did get some baby Orajel for him, which I don't really like giving him stuff like that. But I did get the natural version just to make myself feel a little better, but it was really bothering him. With Max, he didn't fuss at all when he was getting teeth. It didn't change his personality, his mood, anything. It was just like, bam, oh, surprise, there's a tooth in there. Like his gums didn't get swollen or anything. And Wyatt definitely had quite a bit of trouble with those 2 teeth, and maybe it was because they were both coming in at the same time. But he was very fussy. He had a low-grade fever. His mouth was just very sore. But now they're in quite a bit now. They had kind of just broke through the gums and stayed there for quite a while, but it's been a little over a week since he's gotten them. Yeah, and they're in quite far. I just fed him, so he is not hungry, I promise. He's just being a little piggy. You're being a little piggy. The last 2 days we have had some biting problems. If you've been following my updates, you do know that we are nursing. And since they came in, he does bite my fingers and stuff, but that doesn't really bother me as much. But while he is nursing, the last 2 days, he has started biting me with those razor sharp teeth of his. So I'm hoping to nip that in the butt real quick, or else I'm not sure how other mamas do it once your baby has teeth, if they bite you all the time. It's definitely made nursing quite a bit less enjoyable for me, at least. Up until now, a lot of my family is like, you do know you don't need to really continue nursing him, he'd be fine. Especially now that he has started with food, if you switch to formula, but I didn't want to. One, I obviously recognize the health benefits of breastfeeding, but it was enjoyable for the 2 of us, which I think is really important, a really important part of it at least. But we'll see how this teeth thing progresses. It's only been 2 days, so I'm not putting a stop to it now, but if it's been getting on like a month or 2 of constantly being bitten, especially his teeth are really sharp at this stage because they just cut through the gums, that he is leaving marks on me. So we will see how that progresses into the next update, I guess. And something that I just realized, I just kind of glazed over, is we have started food. I started food a little before he turned actually 6 months, because he's been ready for a while, and it was his doctor that was kind of keeping me a little nervous from giving him food. But at about 4.5 months, he was hollering at us from the table for like a burger. Like he was so ready for food. But his doctor is very like 6 months, 6 months. Like there was no gray area. It was just like very black and white. Like if you were 5 months and 29 days old, you still weren't close enough for food. Like you had to be 6 months on the dot, which I don't really think is a great way of thinking. So I did end up caving and giving him food, even though I feel like I should have a month ago, and we would have been way further along than we are now. I started off with rice cereal, which you would have seen that video up on my channel already. Are you pulling my hair? This is why I wear my hair up all the time, monster. Monster. Get out of there. You're not hungry. I did film that and do like a quick little horrible quality video, which is up on my channel if you missed it. I just filmed it with my phone. It was kind of a spur of the moment thing. I just grabbed my phone and started filming it, which is why the quality is so bad. My phone camera is only good for actual pictures and in good lighting. Video, it's horrible. And then of course it was nighttime because we gave it to him at supper. Hi. But he loved it. We did cereal for a few days, just once per day, and then we moved into twice per day. Right now he's getting breakfast and supper. Those are the meals where we try to all sit as a family and eat, so it's more of like a family environment, and I think it's funner for him to be fed in that way. While everyone else is eating their breakfast, he is too. And same with at dinner time. We have family dinners every night, obviously, and that is when he gets his second meal. We were just doing once per day for only a few days because he was still wanting more so much that I just decided to feed him twice a day. He was having a little bit of trouble pooping just with the start of more solid food. Because he seemed so ready, I didn't do the super runny cereal. Like, I had it at quite a thick paste, so he had something to like move around his mouth and it wasn't just liquid for the most part. But now that we've started other foods such as carrots, pears, apples, bananas, stuff like that, things are moving through much easier for him. I think the pears helped a lot. I do want to grab some prunes or something just for days where he's having a lot of trouble, but he has been loving everything that's set in front of him. He hasn't made a face at anything. We haven't done any of the gross vegetables like peas or green beans yet, which were the vegetables that Max had the most trouble with. He's starting to get bored, but I did want to just show you guys how big he's getting. Like I said, these clothes are 12 months. And they fit him perfectly right now, so I think he's going to pretty quickly grow out of these. You obviously know what he looks like a lot more if you follow me on Snapchat and Instagram. He's always over there, so is Max. But I realized in my updates I was getting really slack with actually showing him in the updates, which is kind of an important part that I was missing, I guess. So I thought we would do it together today because I normally film while he is napping, but today we switched it up a little bit. So this is how big Mr. Wyatt is. He's now in his exerciser, which is right behind the camera, so if you hear some smashing and banging, that is Wyatt playing. If you'd like me to do a more in-depth video on how we started feeding him foods, then do let me know. I plan on doing a little bit of a combination of baby-led weaning and the traditional purees. I am a little hesitant to just go full on with the baby-led weaning. I know that seems to be a really popular method for a lot of YouTube families especially, but in my real everyday life, that is not how my family members have fed their babies or something that I have been around personally, so I'm not super comfortable just jumping in without having a lot more knowledge. I'm doing a ton of research on it, and I am definitely giving him some softer things to hold, but I'm not at the stage where I'm just handing him a big old hunk of chicken breast and letting him go at it. It does make me really nervous. I know it's perfectly normal to be nervous with baby-led weaning at the beginning because there is a lot of gagging and food being spit out of their mouth, but I'm just not super comfortable with that just yet. I plan on doing purees for at least a few weeks until he gets accustomed to some of the flavors, and then I think my plan is more to move really quickly from the like puree to the mash to the lumpy to the solids. I remember things are so different than when Max was a baby. When Max was a baby, it was very much like feed them purees, super smooth, watered down foods until about 9 months, and you had to only introduce one new food every 2 to 3 days. to check for allergies, and now they're saying it doesn't matter, give them whatever you're eating, it's fine. Give them some finger foods to play with, as well as some purees, is what the Canadian guidelines are. You do get a book about stuff like that when you're in the hospital here. At least you do at the hospital that I had Wyatt in, and Max. I got the same books, just the new edition. And there are a lot of changes in it in this new edition that I got when I had Wyatt than what was in the book when I had Max. Now they're saying just give them all the foods. You don't have to necessarily space them out. Maybe only introduce one new food per meal time. But if they're going to have an allergic reaction, they are more likely to have it pretty immediately. And they're also recommending to give them peanut butter like as soon as possible instead of waiting until they're over a year old. I'm not going to give him peanut butter right off the bat just because it is a really thick, sticky consistency that I'm worried about him choking or having to, take 10 minutes to get it down. Like, I don't want him to be struggling with it. I will give him peanut butter a little earlier than I did give Max, but we do not have allergies in our immediate family. I do have a niece that has a peanut allergy on Jeremy's side. Bless you! So it is definitely something I am aware of, but just things are very differently. So my plan is to be giving him some purees for now, and then maybe give him some purees with some strips of toast or something on his tray that he can play with while we're eating. Because I'm feeding him while we are eating meal times, we are eating as well as him, so it's not just a one-on-one focused, like, shoveling food into his mouth sort of thing. That's just where I'm at right now. I think that's everything I have to share with you for Wyatt's update. I'm going to quickly move into my postpartum update. There's not much to share. My weight has remained the exact same, even with the 30-day no pop challenge, which I can do an update video on that as well if you're interested. It was pretty uneventful. I did slip up a few times, but have since been really good. And my weight was going up for a while there, which is why I started it. And even right after I did start that challenge, my weight continued to go up, but has now leveled out and went back down to where it was at the beginning, and then has stayed the same for the last 2 weeks. So there's not really much to update on there. My back is feeling a lot better. I mentioned in my 5-month update that I had pulled my back out pretty severely, like to the point where it was hard to walk and I could hardly carry Wyatt around, even though I forced myself to do it with some days tears running down my face. I was in so much pain. But even if you pull your back out and you have an infant at home, like, it's so easy for someone to be like, oh, just rest your back. How? I have to pick him up, put him down. I'm nursing, so like that is a strain on my back as well. It was just a huge issue, but it is feeling better now. And when I do have the time to exercise, I have been doing yoga with Adrienne. She has a whole playlist for yoga for your back, and those are the videos that I have been doing right now, just because I know that they are going to be gentle on my back, gentle stretches for my back to maybe feel a little better and loosen it up, but won't be putting me in these horrible twists or anything like that. On days where I'm feeling really, really good, I have been doing the Tone It Up daily moves, which are just on their website for free. I have never been able to finish the 3 circuits of them with my back the way it is, because by the time I make it, sometimes only 1 circuit and sometimes a circuit and a half, my back is hurting again. So I know it's not really the best idea for me to continue doing those, but I have been, just because I feel like it's a better workout than yoga. I'm really stuck on this weight loss thing, which I know isn't all that healthy, but I do have a wedding coming up in less than a year, and I want to be back to my pre-baby weight, and I'm really struggling as it stands right now. So right now I'm 145 pounds, which is about 5 pounds heavier than my lowest point since having Wyatt. So I had gained weight again from having him, but I was 131 pounds like pre-Wyatt. So that is the minimum that I want to get down to. If I'm talking like pre both babies, it's 120 pounds, which I don't think is going to be realistic for me anymore. I am 5'4", so 120 pounds on me was quite small. And since having kids, I just feel like that's not going to be all that realistic. But 130 pounds is where I was comfortable and the weight that I want to be, if not lower, if that happens on my wedding day. So I do have that in the back of my mind. I'm not going to be waiting until like 8 weeks before my wedding to be like, oh crap, I have 15 pounds to lose. Like, I am trying to make an effort now. I'm eating a lot better. Occasionally we have been getting takeout, which is where I was slipping up in my 30-day no pop challenge. Like, if I'm gonna go to McDonald's and get a McChicken, is the root beer really gonna do anything? Was my thinking, which is horrible, I know, but those were the times where I was failing at my no pop challenge. But I have since been cooking at home a lot. I've been cooking meals off the Tone It Up nutrition plan, which are all really good, the ones that I've had so far. So I do feel a lot better, and I'm really hoping that the weight will start falling off now that I am getting a little more active and my back is feeling better. It's about 80% better, I would say. So once it's 100% better, I will be going balls to the wall on workouts. My hair loss has slowed down to a minimum. I'd say it's just a little bit more than what I would like to see in terms of a daily hair loss. I know everybody loses hair every day. That's just how the hair cycle works, but I'm still losing a little bit more than what I was used to before. So I think I am still dealing with a little bit of postpartum hair loss, but it is growing back so good and so quickly. I am so pleased with it. I just said so many times. I don't know if you guys will be able to tell. If you remember, like, all of this was skin showing, and now you can see the new hair growth. It's still really short. It's probably less than an inch, a lot of it, but it's growing in a lot faster than I expected. And same with on this side, it is growing in. So I'm not as self-conscious about my hairline anymore. Like, there is hair there now. So this is what I was trying to convey in my past updates, is my hairline is like right here, and you can kind of see where it is so short. And that is why I was so self-conscious about it, because it was really noticeable, but it's growing back. I'm hoping that the hair growth will continue to be this rapid, because I don't want to be at like the awkward mullet status by the time my wedding comes around. I might get some extensions to put through here if it is still really short and thin. But I know I keep mentioning my wedding, but that is like the big upcoming event. It's not until next October, which you would have seen in my engagement photo shoot video. The date is in there, but it is definitely at the forefront of my mind. Planning, getting everything sorted out. It is such a huge task. When you attend a wedding, you don't really think about all of the things that go into it, and I'm overwhelmed already and don't even have half the stuff booked. Oh dear. So I think that's everything I have for my postpartum updates. I'm going to quickly show you what my belly looks like. I didn't last month because things haven't changed. Still hasn't really changed, but I will just give you a quick little update. So this is what my belly is looking like 6 months postpartum with baby number 2. I feel like it has gone in a lot. Like, the loose skin is tightening up quite a bit, but because I am still a lot heavier than I want to be, it's definitely not looking as good as I want it to. Things are a little flatter, but yeah, still not anywhere happy with this. I think that's everything I have to share with you today. Be sure to give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye!